Picher, Oklahoma is one of the worst environmental disasters that has happened to the United States. The town, which is just an hour away from Walmart's home office in Bentonville, Arkansas, has been declared one of the most toxic cities in America. Picher was a boomtown around the time of World War I because half of the bullets fired during the war originated from lead mined in Picher, and eventually the town became one of the largest exporters of lead and zinc in the world. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor during World War II, patriotism surged and so did the metal mines in Picher. The byproduct of extracting the lead is a chalky white grit called mine tailings, or chad, and as Picher's population grew, so did the piles of chad, some as wide as 4 football fields. When metal mining stopped in the 1970s, the Environmental Protection Agency declared Picher a Superfund site. It's a name given to areas so polluted they're placed in a national priority list to clean up. Many Picher residents didn't seem to mind the chat and were unaware of its hazards. Many of the 14,000 residents used the chat to fill their driveways. Some even used it in their children's sandboxes. The creeks in Picher that are still colored red from cadmium and arsenic contamination were once swimming holes, and what many thought were sunburns was actually a chemical burn. Most of the residents were unaware of the poisoning taking place, but that all changed in the mid 1990s when a school counselor learned of a link between lead and learning disabilities. The entire school in Picher sits in the middle of a toxic waste dump, and most were unaware that of the students tested, 46% had unsafe levels of lead in their blood. That's 11 times greater than the state average. Lead accumulates in the body over time through a process called bioaccumulation. It can be removed, and the effects it has on the body can last a lifetime. It wasn't until 2005 that the government approved a buyout to relocate just 52 of the residents. 3 years later, nature finished the job. In 2008, an EF4 tornado with winds of 175 miles per hour cut a path through the town. Of the 114 homes destroyed during the storm, none were rebuilt. A year later, the police department was abandoned, the school district closed, and the population shrank from 14,000 to the 3 known residents who live there today. So what's left of the town that was once enlisted to win the war, but lost its own battle for survival? The chat piles are now surrounded with barbed wire and government sign warnings against trespassing. What's left of the school still sits in the shadow of the giant mountain of chat. The hallways are empty and the windows are broken. The football field is eerily silent, and around the corner the streets are empty. The power lines are still there, but the homes they connected to no longer exist.